So hello developers, in this tutorial video guys, we'll be discussing the concept of the keyword static which is being used in a Java programming. Now let us consider a class which we created during the last tutorial, the Avengers class. So in a class, as we know, we can declare different type of variables and methods which we usually refer to as the member variables and member methods of that particular class. Now if I declare a method like this, so if I define a method like this, say a method called printed method, which you so when this printed method is called, it will print out the statement in double quotes. Now now this method is of public, can be accessed publicly, and it returns no value because it's declared as void. Now the thing is that this method is void. This method, that is a member method of the Avengers class, is a non-static method. The reason why is that we did not provide a static keyword before it. Now, what makes this different is that a non-static method can only be accessed by an instance of the class. That is, in my main activity, so in my main method, I'll just create an instance of the Avengers class. So now I have created an instance of this class. Now by using this instance, I can call this method. So as you can see, it ran successfully. I printed the statement on the console. Now this was a non-static method. Now if I add static to this here, this method will now become a static method. By making it static, a static method, property of a static method is that this method can be accessed by the class name itself. That is, we need not create an instance for it. That is, if you write like this, it's correct. Or it's also correct to provide you the same result, but it's highly recommended that you call it by the class name itself. For instance, if I delete this instance from my object, then I'll replace ID by Avengers, which is the name of a class, because the name of this class is Avengers. And if I replace it with Avengers and I call this method printed, then also it will provide me the same result. Now that is a static method. Now that's the first difference between a static and a non-static method. So once you declare any member method as static, it can be accessed or called directly by using the class name itself. And if you declare a non-static method, it can only be accessed or called by that particular instance of the class. The next thing is that a static method will be shared by entire instances. Okay, to make it clear, let us define a static variable in our class. Say we have a static variable, say static, right? Sorry, we write static. Say it's a of the data type will be age is equal to 10. So we have declared a static variable in our project. So in the Avengers class. Now to evoke it, to call it, what we do is that we can just simply write. So let us print this in here. So to print this thing, we can write system dot sorry again, it's capital S, system dot out dot print Avengers dot age. So I have called the static variable directly by using class name itself, and let us see what the result will be. I have initialized this to 10. Okay, so okay, there's some issue now. Okay, let me run it once again. Okay, I got the answer as 10. Now to make it more interesting, let me declare two instances. Say Avengers Tony is equal to new Avengers and Avengers banner equals new Avengers. So I particularly created two instances, names Tony and banner. That means two objects. Now what I do is that I call now I'm going to call a variable which is age, and I assign it a value 12, and in banner dot age is equal to 25. Then let us print this thing. So before printing it, let me add a statement. So this is Avengers. So this is Avengers class. This is Tony. This is Bruce. Bruce Banner. This is Banner. Replace Avengers. Now we're gonna call it directly by using the instance that I created, even though it's not recommended, but still it's correct. You can do the same result now. So the result which I must be expecting is that it must print out Avengers.h, which must be 10, Tony.h, which must be 12, and Banner.h, which must be 25. But the issue here is that we have declared this method, declared this variable as a static variable. The issue with static variable is that this variable will be shared by every instances. So let us see what the result will be. See, everything was okay. Run it once again. See, everything gave a result 25. Avengers 25, Tony 25, Banner 25, because it was this value. If I change this to 20, let's make it a space here, so let's make it look much more prettier. You can see it gave the value 20. So the issue here is that this variable age is a static variable. So it actually depends on, it will be shared by the entire instances that we created. For instance, if I just remove this variable static keyword from here, and as you know, when I remove static keyword, it can no longer be accessed by using the class name. If I remove it, and if I run the program again, see 2012 banner 20. See, now that variable, so now the issue here is that what you need to understand is that when a variable is non-static in nature, its value will play around, its value will depend on the instances that we just created. That is Tony.age equals something, it will depend on that instance. But if you declare a variable to be as, what to say, a static variable, its lifespan will be as long as the classes are available. It will be shared by the entire instances of the class that we just created. So that's the difference between the static variable and non-static variable. I hope that you guys understood the basic difference between the two. Now, so that's all for guys for today. I hope that you guys a clear picture of the difference between static and a non-static variable and non-static method is. So to round up things, static variables can be accessed directly by the variables and methods can be accessed directly by their class names, and the static variables shared by each and every instance of the class we created. So that's all for today. I hope you like this video. Please comment and subscribe.